This is Bacardi Sellers and another. Now remember this guy on the right.
Today, CJ.
Yeah, exactly. Now remember this guy on the right turned out to be he is a donor for the rail industry that with what's happening in East Palestine. This guy right here. Okay. He's one of the he's one of the lobbyists, I should say. He lobbied for the company, the literal company that's involved in this. He was one of the lobbyists at the time. Now he's in CNN contributor. He was on a panel talking about this, and they didn't disclose he was one of the lobbyists for it until it came out, and then they had to admit it. So let's listen to what they're saying about third parties in general. They kind of talk about Cornel West a little bit, but this is about more fear of what's going to happen if Joe Biden can win this next election.
Senator Manchin says this New Hampshire appearance is not necessarily about running as a third-party candidate, but you heard the language. He's not ruling it in. He's not ruling it out. What do you think? How concerned should Biden be?
Well, I think the Democratic Party and Joe Biden should be extremely concerned, but this is really just an exercise in futility. This is an exercise in arrogance. This is an exercise in a false sense of self. Many of these individuals who are running in third parties, including Senator Manchin, I mean, we have a big tent. We want Senator Manchin to be the senator from West Virginia, but actually teasing and wanting people to adore you or ridicule you or be a part of this discussion for President of the United States, that it's really only arrogance. Joe Biden had a successful or has a successful tenure going as president. I think everybody should get behind him and support him. The Joe Manchins, the Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s, the Cornel West, they're all in the same bucket. And they are just running either to be here with David and I as political commentators or to try to find some exit ramp.
Senator Manchin.
Yes.
So what's the implication of Dr. West and Bakari? Are you going to say the same thing about him?
I think he put him in the same boat. He said they're in the same boat. Cornel West, along with Joe Manchin and RFK. Like, I guess he's trying to say this is a vanity thing for for Cornel West. It seems, but I mean, it's Bakari Sellers. He's willing to sell out. So he's a sellout himself. So, but let's continue and then get through some of these videos here.
David, Democrats have been worried for quite some time about the potential for this group, No Labels, to play a spoiler role in 2024, splitting the Democratic vote, even just enough of the Democratic vote. Let's say they take 5% of it for Manchin if he runs, and which would hand the election theoretically to Trump or DeSantis. Former Republican Senator Bob Corker of Tennessee, David, told the Washington Post that concern is much ado about nothing. He said, quote, "The last thing that this group wants to do is be known as the group that elected Donald Trump." And I just scratched my head at the Democrats having their hair on fire about this. What do you think?
Yeah, well, listen, I don't think that, I think Senator Corker may be underestimating the No Labels, the seriousness of their efforts and undertaking. If you listen to them talk and hear them, they're out to get on every ballot and every state in the union to have ballot access, which as you know is no mean feat. And if they do so, it will really impact this election. As you noted, this is going to be an extremely close race. Let's just assume that it's President Biden versus President Trump. It'll be an extremely close race, 1 point or 2 points either direction. And having a third-party candidate in the race could affect the outcome either direction. Although with Senator Manchin getting in the race, a Democrat, it would probably draw more votes from the Democratic side of the aisle. So it is a cause for concern if you're on the Democratic ticket. If you're President Trump or Ron DeSantis or Chris Christie or anybody else running, I think you'd be, you're kind of encouraging the run.
This pointless dribble. I don't understand why does this guy on the right get an invitation, a former donor, a former lobbyist? Why is he regularly like a person to be there to be talking about politics when he has such a background that's sort of in the cesspool of Washington, D.C.?
I think that's it. He's a donor and a lobbyist. So isn't that really all you need in this day and age in order to get on these mainstream networks?
Yeah, that's true. That is true. That's a good point.